Welcome to the only misery guide you're going to need when you're fresh starting out in this game. Now, I know it can be very difficult, overwhelming at times. You don't really know what everything is. Don't worry, I'm going to be here. I'm going to guide you through it. Without further ado, let's lock in. Now, when you load in, go ahead and go to multiplayer because that's what we're here for. Chances are you're hosting a server, so go ahead and give it a name and a code, especially if you're playing with friends. You don't want griefers. If you're playing solo, you can just put that little slider down to 1 and you won't have to worry about that. So before we even get into any gameplay or anything like that, you need to understand what these 4 bars are going to mean on the bottom left of your screen. So on the top, you obviously have your health. Below that is going to be stamina. Below that is going to be radioactivity. And then below that is going to be insanity. Now, I'll get deeper into, radioactivity and insanity later in the video, but for now, you just need to know what they are. Now that we're actually in the game, go ahead and make your way to this door, start the game, and this is going to put you in a 30-second to a minute little fast scavenger hunt type thing. I don't know. You don't have a lot of time, so grab anything you can. As you see, I grabbed a worker suit. That's one of the best things you can get from this little 30-second time frame. But anything will really do, a bandit jacket, fur coat, anything like that, just to give you more storage. But the main thing we're looking for is going to be a weapon, which can almost always be found in the basement, I think. Every game I play, there's always some type of weapon in the basement. So once you grab that, you got everything, make your way to this area and wait for the bomb to drop. Congratulations, you just survived a nuclear explosion. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do, immediately start reorganizing your stuff, rearranging it how you like it. Make sure you equip everything you can, drop anything that you can't carry. If you drop it inside of your bunker, it's not going to despawn. It will stay there forever. Don't worry, I've tested it. So if you ever run out of space, just drop it and you're good. Now we are ready to head out on our expedition. So go ahead, hit the expedition button. It'll take you out into the wasteland. As you can see here, gorgeous, beautiful environment. But make sure you always pull out your compass. I'm 99% sure the base is always to this red arrow on the left. I believe it's north, I don't know. But in every game I've played, it's been north so far, so I don't know. Maybe you want to double check that, but that's just for me. Now, a quick little side note, you want to make sure you avoid any of these green, gassy areas. If you get too close, they will start following you and giving you insanity, which obviously you don't want. Now, another tip I can recommend is always make sure you check little small shacks, some areas you wouldn't really think would have good loot, because sometimes they actually will. As you can see here, I got a Soviet backpack just from a little random shack in the back of a house. Soviet backpacks, any type of backpack really is going to be extremely helpful because you're going to have more storage space, more stuff to carry, all that good stuff. Now, I do recommend if you have the space, make sure you pick up some sort of storage item to bring back to your house, whether that's a cabinet, a cupboard, something, because you're going to want to start organizing, getting everything sorted out inside your bunker pretty much as soon as possible. Now, the next tip I have is always break these wooden boxes. You never really know what's inside. You can get good stuff. Sometimes you can get handmade antennas, gasoline, as you see here, which obviously is a very valuable resource. So make sure you check those wooden boxes. Never leave one unturned because it might have some really good stuff in it. Now, this house specifically is going to have a ton of good loot. I don't know what it is exactly with this house, but every time I go in there, it constantly gives me either ammo, a gun, meds, just a lot of useful stuff always spawns in this house. I'm not really sure why. I believe around the 3rd, 4th emission, you'll start getting guns to spawn in this house, pretty commonly. So if you see it, make sure you go in, make sure you loot it, because it's going to be filled with a lot of good stuff. Now, the next 2 things I want to mention, the first is going to be these red spike balls you see on screen here. They're going to kill you if you get too close to them. They don't take a whole lot of damage, but be wary, be careful. The closer you get, the wider they will spread, so you don't want to stay in them for too long. Otherwise, they will become threatening. But the next thing, obviously, is going to be this big orb. If you walk into it, you're going to take a little bit of damage, and it's going to teleport you likely into a house. The loot is not necessarily guaranteed to be good or anything, but you can find some good stuff if you teleport. But always remember, it's at the price of your health, so don't go into one of these orbs if you have low health because it will kill you. Now, a little side note, these stashes can be found all around the map. There's one right outside of the spawn, clearly. They're not gonna, have the best loot of all time, but they'll have little stuff, if you're lacking on the loot, go ahead, check it out. It's not gonna hurt. Now, one of my favorite spots to search is like this military brigade car blockage. I don't know. You can search pretty much every single one of these cars, and most of the time I'll find a backpack, a sledgehammer. As you can see here, I find gasoline. So there's a lot of useful items that you can find in these cars. They oftentimes have something that is going to be at least of some value to you. So if you come across this, make sure you're searching every single car. Now, the next thing you're probably going to come across are these little dwarves. Not going to lie, first time I saw these guys scared the shit out of me. I thought they were an enemy, but they're actually pretty chill. If you just give them some vodka, they'll follow you around. You can take them back to your bunker, take them home with you. Or they'll just store items for you, which can be very useful. So if you have the space and you want to take a little dwarf back home with you, by all means. Now, you are likely to stumble upon this cabin on like your first or second mission, probably. It's going to grow legs and turn around, so watch out for it. Make sure you're not underneath it, because that definitely can crush you. So you don't want to lose all your stuff. Make sure you're out of the way. But if you're trying to get into the house, you basically just want to wait until it drops right down. You want to be kind of close to it. In this clip, I kind of mess up a couple times, but as you can see here, I believe this next one is when I get it. You want to be somewhat close and then just jump in. You'll have some anti-rad like pills on the table. It's not the best loot, but it's something. Now, the next thing I want to cover is going to be the store. This is the most important place in the game, okay? This is where you're going to be doing all your transactions, getting tons of rubles. You're going to be getting the big bucks here, okay? And this can be used to buy a ton of stuff inside the actual store itself. We have multiple different traders. This guy, he's just going to be trading basic stuff. We don't really like him. He's not the money maker. This guy, on the other hand, later in the game, when you have tons of weapons, you're going to be able to sell them to this guy for like $40, $50, which might not seem like a lot, but in this game, stuff isn't really overpriced, I would say. This next guy, the junk trader, he's going to be extremely important. You can give him any scrap, any just extra stuff that you don't want. The hunter, he's kind of useful if you actually go hunting and get the trophies and all that. It can be a good source of money. The healer, or the medic, whatever his name is, he's all right. I never really use him. But this guy is so important, okay? He is going to be selling all of your equipment needs, all of the backpacks. This hiking backpack specifically is going to be what you need to carry, fridges, all that good stuff, like a bunch of items back to your base. It's so good. Now, like I said earlier, you're going to want to make sure you're organized pretty much at all times. So as soon as you're back from an expedition, go ahead and start organizing your stuff out. I recommend dropping the gasoline right by the gas generator, just so you know where it is. And then anything else that you don't really want in your inventory, or it doesn't have any use right now. So for example, this sewing machine and the gas mask, just go ahead and drop it in a pile. It's not going to despawn. As long as it's in your base, you will be a-okay, and you can keep it there pretty much as long as you want. A little side note that I find helpful: make sure you keep any type of crafting materials inside the crafting table's inventory at all times. Anything valuable you have early game can also go in here, but later game, I highly recommend just keeping strictly crafting materials in here, as it's just going to make your organizing 10 times easier. When you're preparing for the next expedition, make sure you clear out your entire backpack. Sort your stuff so that you can fit any type of big items in your backpack, because you're not able to fit that in, a worker suit or anything else like that. Your backpack is going to need the most space, so if it's able to, make sure it's cleared out. Make sure after every expedition you are going to the shop. As you can see here, I got a handmade antenna, which is going to sell for 24 rubles, which might not seem like a whole lot, but it's decent for early game. You can't really get a lot of the trophies and stuff once you're like, 3-4 missions in. So this stuff is going to sell for a pretty penny while you're still under level. Now, as I mentioned earlier, cupboards, cabinets, all that good stuff are going to be very important, because you are going to be coming across a ton of items. So the more storage you have is just going to be 10 times more beneficial to you. So as early as possible, make sure you're grabbing the cupboards, grabbing the cabinets, and setting them up inside your bunker. Now, a minor note, make sure your food and thirst meter are always at max, because you never want to be caught outside without any food or water. It's really just going to set you back. Now, to use the incinerator, grab this cable here that's already pre-provided for you, slide it into your hotbar, and it's pretty much just as simple as connecting the incinerator to the generator. So pull out the cable, you'll get this prompt here. You want to put it in the incinerator first. This is very important. Make sure you put the incinerator cable in first, and then if done correctly, you will see a green line, which you can then attach to pretty much any electrical object. But for right now, we're just going to be attaching it to the generator right here. So once you get the prompt, go ahead and attach it, and then click it again, and it will solidify it and put the cable down for you. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating with scrap, but you can actually incinerate like a bunch of different items in this game. Make sure you grab gasoline as well, and then put whatever item you're going to be incinerating into these convert slots in the actual incinerator itself, and then make sure you have your gasoline. Go over to the gas generator, just go ahead and insert it, press E, and then from here, go back to the incinerator, and all you have to do is turn it on. And at this point, you will start seeing the percentage go up, and once that reaches 100, you will then get an iron bar. Now, the first thing I recommend to craft is going to be the sewing machine. It is so versatile, and there's a high chance you're going to come across either a gas mask or a suit that needs repairing. So having a sewing machine is just going to boost you forward that much more. And if you're feeling like it, go ahead and clean up these trash piles. They add nothing to your base, they just make them dirty. Throw them in the incinerator, do whatever you want with them, but they're not going to be any value to you. When you're out on an expedition, make sure you keep your eyes on the lookout for an axe. This is going to be the best melee weapon you can get. It's going to destroy wood in one hit. You're going to be in and out super fast, so if you see one, make sure you grab it. Bandits are super easy to kill. Just loop around them while attacking, and there's pretty much nothing they can do. Super easy to kill. As I love mentioning, always be on the lookout for this house, especially if you're upwards of 3 or 4 emissions. Look at that axe, taking out those boxes, like I said. Anyways, if you're upwards of 3 or 4 emissions, this is going to be a prime spot because there is likely a gun here every single time. As you can see here, I get the Obrez, which takes buckshot ammo. So if you don't have buckshot, get some or buy some, and that's all you need to use this weapon. Put it in your primary or secondary slot. I prefer secondary personally, but once you have that, simply pull it out and click R to reload, and you will load the shotgun. Really small side note, keep your eyes on the lookout for a sledgehammer. This is very important for later. Now we're going to focus on base upgrades a bit here. So go ahead into your crafting table, pick out whatever you want to craft. For example, here, we're going to be making a sewing machine. So put the required materials into the inventory and then queue it up, go back to the inventory and click the turn on button. As you will see here, the timer begins. Once the timer runs out, you will find the sewing machine or whatever you crafted back inside of the inventory of the crafting table. Just simply take it out of the inventory, put it in your own inventory, and you can place it down wherever you want. Now, the sewing machine cannot be placed on cupboards or anything like that. It must be placed on a table, as you can see here. So if you don't have a table, just put it on the floor. It'll do all the same work. To use the sewing machine, it's pretty much the exact same as the crafting table. Just put a sewing kit and whatever you need in there, and then from there just queue it up, turn on the machine, and you're all good to go. Now, as soon as the gas mask is done, equip it immediately. It's going to be one of the most useful items in the game for keeping away radiation. Next, pull out your sledgehammer because we're going to be doing some renovating. Get to smacking that wall. These are only going to be able to break 2 walls, which isn't a whole lot, but 2 walls is better than nothing. Plus, you have the ability to craft them and they're not too hard to come across, so you will actually expand your base way faster than you think. The last tip is going to be if you get a weapon that has a mag, simply drag the ammo type onto the magazine, carry the magazine in your inventory, and you're all good to go. Your weapon is fully loaded, ready to use to your pleasure. But that is going to wrap up the guide. I hope you guys did enjoy. If it did help you, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you want any more misery content or you have any misery ideas, please let me know. I'm down to make more content. I haven't even beat the game fully yet, but I know this game can be difficult when you're first getting into it, so I hope this guide was at least somewhat helpful. If it was, lock in, and I will see you guys in the next one.